blushing, give you a sweet concussion. Oh, you miss my touching, you do. Show me something, give me more than one thing. I need more than less than I do. Say you're a good guy, make me believe it. Don't wanna hear it, I wanna see it. See how rewind, when we rewind, it feels so nice. I can't help hide the sweet talk. I'm already on my way. I'm pulling up, don't be late. I'm cutting through all the lanes. Sweet talk. You need to say less to me. No need for no flowers, babe. I'm already on my way, on my way. We've been dancing all night long, right here with you way too long. Don't want nothing here or now, but I'm done waiting, done wasting my time. Let the sweet talk, I'm already on my way. I'm pulling up, don't be late. I'm cutting through all the lanes. Sweet talk, you need to say less to me. No need for no flowers, babe. I'm already on my way, on my way.
Hey, everybody. I have got the total wrong. I'm hearing an echo feedback. I think it's from Josh. He doesn't have headphones in. So, Josh, if you don't mind putting some headphones in there. Josh is joining me live. He's going to jump in the stream with me at some point today. Super excited to be here. Yep, that's right, Keely. Team Mom. Don't worry, you're here. Well, I am super grateful you're here. So that means a lot. Today was kind of I'm just going to put myself out there. I'm all about being transparent and authentic on this channel. And I would love to tell you that today's topic I've been thinking about forever, and we had it really dialed in and planned. And the truth is that, and I'll give you kind of an update on the channel and stuff, is that I wasn't going to go live today. I was going to do pre-recorded content. And then Josh and I got together, and it's like, oh, I thought we were going to go live on Mondays. So miscommunication internally, which is no big deal. It worked out awesome. I'm glad to be here and kind of just share with you. And I kind of felt like it would be a good opportunity to talk about some hang-ups and mishaps and missteps that people make when producing content. And this is not only video content like on YouTube, but it also includes written content like on your website and blog posts and stuff. And want to share with you kind of some things that we've worked and, what we thought, we may have been messing up, ended up being a really, really good thing. And I also want to just kind of share some of my journey with the channel so far and my thoughts. We've just hit 450 subscribers, which I am insanely grateful for. I cannot thank you enough for the 450 people who have chosen to hit the subscribe button and to join us when we go live and stuff. So not a lot of promotion for this one, so I feel like we're halfway naked on this live stream, which I'm okay because I really feel like there's going to be a lot of value. Josh is a super dope, smart, and insanely intelligent content creator, and so he's going to get to share some experiences and with us and stuff. So, and I'm going to share some exciting news that's going on internally in our company that, man, I got to tell you, we got some big, exciting stuff going on. So, put your headphones on right now, Josh. Let's say hi to, I just want to give Keely a shout out. She's here. She says she's here. I believe her. She's here every week, and I love her to death. She is my Canadian sister from another mister. And yeah, I'm super pumped. She comes every week. And look, she's a WordPresser too, so she's got her own site. She manages her own stuff. She's in my opinion, a true awesome entrepreneur that's managing a lot of things and stuff. You know what's kind of a cool angle? I'm going to go ahead and throw this angle in here because I just realized that, I am on my guest stream. Oh, wow. Okay, now it's here. On my other angle, I had me right here as well because this is my computer screen, and it's kind of how it's the command center. This is where we run this massive spaceship and stuff, and it's kind of fun and stuff. So, hey, Scott, welcome. Scott from Nebraska is in the house. Welcome, Scott. Hope it's wonderful where you're, in Nebraska this time of day and stuff. So I think, I was going to talk for a bit by myself. I feel like I've talked long enough. I'm going to go ahead and bring in my good buddy Josh, and we're just going to kind of go with it. What's happening, Josh?
Yeah. So because we didn't get to test the gear out right, is everything coming through nice and clear?
Dude,
So
everything is
want to make sure that's happening,
coming
right?
through super dope. I think.
Good.
Let me
I think it's probably working out okay.
Yeah, let me take a look.
I think you're selling yourself short. Yeah, you go ahead and check it out. But I'm going to tell you, I think you're selling yourself a little short because you come on, you say you haven't put a lot of thought about this, and I know it was kind of a little bit of a surprise. But it's something that you're really knowledgeable on.
It is.
So it's something. It's the way that you've built the whole company, and something that you've talked about multiple times across several of these streams, especially when we were talking about just hitting publish on those sites and getting them live, that kind of thing. And this is our chance to get a little bit more in depth on that, I think.
Yeah, and we can kind of dive deep into the weeds and, talk about some of the pros and cons of content creation, and not only content creation, but, maybe when you think you're doing the wrong thing and it ends up being the right thing. Those happy accidents that you discover along the way and stuff. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my cohort here today, Josh Daly. He is a WordPresser, longtime WordPresser, content manager, blog manager, writer. He's came to work with us almost a year ago. You're coming up on a year, Josh. Holy moly!
Yes,
it's been almost a year, bro.
Yes, it will be June. Will pretty much is the year mark. Yeah.
Are you ready to head to the hills? Run for the hills? And oh my God, what I get myself into!
No way, man. We're just getting started, buddy. Yeah. I'm here for it.
Good. So, Josh came in. He does manage and run our content, our blog, over on AspenGroveStudios.com and Divi.space. He also is the producer of this YouTube channel. So I've said it many times. He's kind of the genius behind the content that we produce, and the structure and the direction that we're going to go in and stuff. I just get to play a YouTuber on YouTube, which is awesome because I have a lot of fun doing it and stuff. So, it's kind of cool and stuff. I'm going to say hi to some other people who joined the stream here. Eric, my friend.
Yeah.
Eric joins, and he's, it's late where Eric is. I mean, it's like pushing midnight every time when we go live and stuff, and Eric is here week in and week out, and I really, really appreciate
living that nightlife.
Living that nightlife. Obbs is in the house. Aubrey, you are awesome. Good afternoon. So glad to have you here, and Kevin Cox is in the house as well. So, let's talk about. I think where I want to start, Josh, is I want to start about my experience with this YouTube channel, because this thing has been kind of a work in progress. And, Josh and I are not like YouTube experts. Although we play one on YouTube, we're not YouTube experts. um, we've gotten into the Let's Get Live Facebook group, and Doc and Diana, and that Ecamm community has been just so wonderful with like sharing their knowledge and their experience with live streaming and YouTube. And now they are video content creators. I would put us as content experts on the blogging side of things, because we have some really high ranking authoritative WordPress websites, not only in WordPress but in the world. So of the billions of websites that are out there, ours ranks very high. And the search engines. So on the written side of things, we've kind of got that down, and we've been kind of playing around with things on this YouTube side of things. One thing that I was really aware of personally is that I didn't want people who weren't going to watch the channel to subscribe. I don't want people who are just, I don't need vanity metrics. I don't want like a bunch of people hitting the subscribe so I can tell everybody I've got thousands of subscribers. I really want people who are going to get benefit and value from the stream or the content that we produce here. So that's been kind of fun to do. Josh, and you can jump in anytime. Don't be afraid to cut me off. Like, dive in. If something hits your soul and you need to come with it, cut me off, because that's how we roll over here.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, I think that there's been a lot of conversation around the tension point of even diving into YouTube and this topic for us, because we have done so much around the idea of you just get stuff out there. We're going to iterate over time. We're going to create evergreen content that's important. There's a ton of value in just getting things launched, whether that's a product or a blog post is something that's really important to us, is getting it out there, getting feedback, getting real use case, real world users who are trying to experience it for the first time. And I think for somebody who's artistic, somebody who spends a lot of time thinking deeply about what they're doing and cares a lot about it, hitting publish could be one of the hardest things, because you don't want to do it wrong. You don't want to hurt somebody. You don't want to offend anybody. And so all of those things start coming into play in our minds. Of course, imposter syndrome, you start questioning whether or not it's good enough. And something that is a little bit more challenging on the YouTube side of things is that once you hit publish, you can't as easily go back and edit the video content like you can with the blog content and then products as well. And so this topic really, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, YouTube, if you're listening, the ability to upload, to edit, evergreen content, to go in and update without losing authority would be massive. Maybe that's something one day that YouTube gets into, where, you can really, have the ability to go back and improve the content that you've produced, as opposed to, in essence, starting from scratch with a brand new video, because right now that's pretty much what you have to do. Where on the written side of content, once you get a good high-ranking evergreen piece of content, you can update it annually, biannually, however often you feel like you need to bring the information to date. And it's easy, and that post just gets better and better and better over time, especially with the search engines. So, come on, YouTube.
I mean, if we were given the secret sauce behind the blogging stuff, when I had come in, there had been, thousands of pieces written by across Divi Space, Aspen Grove Studios, the types of content. Most of what we do now is going back, revisiting pieces that have shown success, cleaning that content up, adding new features, updating, that the technology has changed in this different kind of stuff, updating the date. And that really works well because you don't lose the authority. You can adjust and kind of play around with the making sure it's more discoverable with key phrase research, that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. And it's similar with, now I will say this about YouTube that has it right. Whether or not the video content is perfect and you can edit that, you can go in and edit your titles, your descriptions, your tagging, and all of that stuff will actually cause almost instant reactions and reflections in search results to see if it gets a better boost in search and that kind of stuff. And so I would encourage you, if you're a YouTube content creator, and that's what we're talking about a little bit right now, because we have
Yeah.
actually this concept, or the what we're talking about today came up because of product development.
Right.
But if you are talking YouTube, I would say if you're having struggle getting something seen or discovered and you put a lot of time into it already, go back and revisit those titles and change
Yes.
them around a couple times
Yeah.
until it hits. We've seen some good success when we change the title a couple times, and then all of a sudden it might jump from 1 or 2 visits and get 100 or 200 views real fast. And it's because that YouTube's trying to give you a chance to see, oh, this content might be interesting for the user. It seems like the best match for the searches that are going on, and this is a lot higher search volume. Now, the thing is, if it isn't a good piece of content, it may drop off again.
Right.
And that's kind of the tension point, but it does teach you something. So
Yeah.
use those learning experiences.
All right, Josh. I know.
Yeah.
He's like me. We're new tubers. I like to call us new tubers. Because we're pretty much new to the YouTubing world, and we can get talking, and we know this is live, so there's people out there, and I want to acknowledge and answer any questions.
Yeah,
If
do
you're
it.
new and it's your first time, drop new into the comments. Let us know that you are here. And if you have a question, put a Q in front of it, and we'll do our best to answer the question. Want to recognize John Williams. Peace to all from North Carolina. Broadcasting from the Temple of Boom. Here we go. I'm liking it. I don't know. I'll see how it feels, John. I'll see how it feels. I'm glad that it resonates with you, though. Kevin says, you never know, David, but you're pulling it off, building your authority on YouTube. I do, and that's one thing that I do want to touch on also in kind of what we've learned so far and stuff. Grant, welcome from New Jersey. We are so glad that the East Coast is representing. Aubrey says, imposter syndrome. Absolutely. Now, Keely is the queen, throwing out the love, group hugs for everybody. It's good to see everybody. I agree. Now, Scott's got a question, I guess. Evergreen content, something that's good every year that you can update. Absolutely. Evergreen content is a type of content that is not going to change over time. That the rules apply, and it'll be applicable today as applicable as it is in 5 years. There may be some minimal updates. Like, let's just take, for example, installing WordPress. WordPress has been around since 2003. How to download and install WordPress would be a piece of content that you may produce on YouTube and a blog post. And guess what? It's evergreen content that's going to be out there for a very long time, and it's not really going to change. There may be some updates to the software and stuff, definitely over time, and you can go back and improve that. And that's what adding to that content, notating those changes and stuff is beneficial and whatnot. Aubrey is sharing the love back, Keels. Just saying. And Revelations, it is very good to see you in the house from Oregon, a fellow Oregonite, Brian. Now, this is not my brother from another mother. This is actually my brother. I'm glad you're tuning in. I hope you're not driving and that you're not watching this live stream while you're driving and stuff. Eric says he loves evergreen blog content. He has posts that are 8 years old and still get a lot of traffic. That's the benefit of the evergreen content. So, mixing in evergreen and non-evergreen content is important too and stuff. You know, you want to try to get some some traffic going. Something hot, newsworthy may come out that you want to produce content on because you need to share it with the world, but it may not be news tomorrow. So you kind of need to find the balance and stuff. All right. So, Brian, well, be safe. Please be safe if you're watching and driving. My brother is an over-the-road truck driver, so I figured he might be driving and stuff. John's got a question. What's your takes on publishing the blog posts on YouTube or starting with YouTube and putting the text into a blog post, cross-pollinating content? Well, I'll tell you, all of it is Josh, why don't you answer that question? Because I feel like you're the one to answer that question.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's kind of the intent of what we're working on quite a bit with even the Digital Buddha is cross-pollinating content between Divi Space, Aspen Grove Studios, Digital Buddha, and recognizing the types of content that's more effective where it's at, and then where written content kind of fills in that space. We haven't tried publishing a blog post like in written form on YouTube. I don't know that that would be super effective in the description section, partly because the ability to communicate or provide support the way that we want to is not as possible. You can't share images and stuff in the comments section. So that makes it a little bit more challenging if you have to kind of reply with something that's a little bit more technical to your end users. But so what we end up doing is just creating videos that relate. They're generally not word for word, though I have seen people do that. David, you may be able to speak to that more from like a podcasting side of things, where they'll just take the transcripts and publish that as a blog post along with the audio to do that.
We have done that. Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to talk that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've done it over on WP Gears. It hasn't been like as effective as I thought it would be, because content is content. But I think where the written and the video content, kind of the breakdown, at least in my mind, or my experience of doing that is, a written blog post is typically very well thought out. It's very targeted and
Right.
You're kind of going to hit a specific question or a need or something that needs to be answered. And it's not that a podcast can't do that, but there's a lot of banter, a lot of talk like Josh and I are going on right now that gets lost in translation. That's not really valuable content for search engines. And look, here's the bottom line. Search engines are super, super smart. They know valuable content from invaluable. Invaluable would be even more than valuable.
Infamous?
Infamous? I am infamous. Let's be infamous.
More than famous?
More than famous.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
right. What movie is that from, Josh? I can't remember.
That's Three Amigos.
Three Amigos. That's right.
The infamous?
Yeah.
Oh man.
So
here's kind of a thought along that lines too, though, with the video content. Is that when you are writing for a blog or a video, you can think about this from a performance perspective as well. I think a lot of times what people are trying to do is plug in video content or big images because they go, if there's a lot of images and video content on the page, it's going to SEO wise, it's going to go higher because Google's going to see that there.
Right.
But like David said, as it starts getting smarter, another key factor is whether or not the page is loading fast. And as soon as you add a big video on there or connect even through a YouTube or something else, it's going to take a little bit longer for that page to load. You add images. So we've had posts that we go back through and strip out a bunch of images that were there that were kind of unnecessary, and we're asking a question about our images and give animated gifs from the past, that we've got to convert over to different things to keep the performance high. Is this necessary? Is it actually helpful to the content? And so be thinking about it kind of in both ways, is going, I don't just need a video for the sake of video, though video content's really important and ranks high. Is this
Yeah.
actually contributing to the conversation or not?
Yeah, and here's some experience that I want to share. So, like on this YouTube channel, what our journey has been. It's been publishing and adjusting, and Josh and I, before this stream, we were talking about some of the things. It's like doing double work. You'll notice that we'll do the live streams, and then we'll take that live stream down, we'll chop it up, we'll condense that video to where it is valuable content to just somebody who's searching, for that specific
Right.
thing that they're trying to answer, as opposed to watching our hour-long live stream or our 2-hour-long live stream, which they can get the answer in there, but it's different. Here's what we've discovered is, the valuable content. What we've discovered is that we've found kind of what our audience really wants, and our audience is really small right now, but we can tell that by before the live stream even goes live, when we send out that email and let them know that, hey, we're about to go live, this is the topic we're
Right.
going to cover. Like today's a perfect example. This is a WordPress and e-commerce simplified YouTube channel, and that's really what our audience is looking for. So when we send out something like this, where we're just going to kind of talk about blog content, producing content, how that kind of flows, we've got like a couple of people waiting for the live stream. But when we like build a website or go in deep with child themes and building
Yeah.
specific niche types of
Performance
websites,
optimization.
performance optimization, we're looking at 50, 60 people 2 hours before the live stream is even live. Okay. Now, well, what is that telling us? Well, because we have been just hitting publish, putting out content, adjusting, trying out different content, we're really, really dialing in on what our audience really wants to hear from us. And not only that, what YouTube wants to serve to the people who aren't already in our audience and stuff.
Right.
Which is it's interesting to see that, like when you do live Q&A, I'm going live and it's going to be a Q&A. YouTube's not sharing that out to the world, but how to build an e-commerce website in 10 minutes, everybody comes, so
Yeah.
publishing, adjusting, you can jump in, Josh, feel free. You've got a lot of experience with this with me on this journey and stuff.
Well, I would say let's just we can run through some thoughts that I jotted down, which is, what are some of the pros to waiting when you're going to release, whether it's a product. So you have a lot of experience with product releases. Are there pros, and what are the pros to waiting to release a product versus, getting it out there, giving people experience for it, or content? So what do you see as maybe a pro and a con?
Okay. I'm sorry. I was reading the comment while you were talking.
Okay.
What's my question again? And I'm Josh.
So the question is, what is the pros and cons of waiting? So you build something or
Right.
you create a piece of content and you're going to wait to release that. Why would it be a pro to wait? And then what's the cons to waiting to getting something pushed out?
Ooh, well, I've got my own personal opinions. I'm wanting you to answer the same question behind me.
Okay.
I am a firm believer in hitting publish, putting your content out there always first, because you can come back and, kind of reassess it, see what you've done, see where you can improve that piece of content. Now, one of the pros of doing that is that search engines, and let's get this straight, folks. YouTube is a search engine. It's the number 2 search engine in the world. So at the end of the day,
Right.
it's not a video content creation platform. It's a search engine. People are putting search queries in there to find solutions to problems that they have. The University of YouTube is my favorite. It's where I learn a lot of things. So in saying that, search engines like consistency. So if content's king, consistency is queen, okay? Putting out content is very important. Right. That's the pro. They see you putting content out consistently. In my opinion, that's the pro. The con on the video side is kind of what we were talking about a minute ago, where having this content dialed in from a video standpoint is it's more difficult than a blog post that you can go back and edit. Because if your video is off and you know how to do, you've got to redo it again, upload it, start from scratch. So it's that, in my opinion, that is some of the cons that you're going to get with waiting as opposed to producing. Yeah. So a pro of waiting for the video content is making sure that you have that content kind of dialed in and stuff. So does that make sense?
Right. Yeah, no, I think
want to
that
hear
answers
you, so.
it to a degree. But I think that another element to that is a pro to waiting is if you have a strategic marketing plan around something and you have intention behind it. I'm going to write X number of emails for a drip campaign. I'm going to prepare all my social stuff out. Or we have a big sale coming up, like a Black Friday or some kind of big campaign that's a normal winner for you, then you may want to create that content, take time for a bigger buildup, and then have that really grand release period. But on the con side of that is the risk is a lot higher when you are creating all of that stuff, and especially if it's a new product and you don't know that product's going to be effective or not, or that piece of content is going to be as valuable as you think it is. Like, it may be a big hot topic for the moment, and then the last piece of that I would really start considering is just your own fear. Like, are you kind of giving a bunch of excuses so that you don't have to get that out there? It's like you're so scared of what people are going to think about it. You're scared of, and this all depends on what industry you're in. Obviously, if it's a business thing, it might be a lot easier for you to bypass that kind of fear. But if you're really putting yourself out there, especially on a platform like this, then there's a lot of fear around it. And you could be like, well, I want to wait until I have this piece of gear. I want to wait till I have this thought just right. I want to wait till I have the right following. And then, like, we had to hit a point even inside of our for the company of going like, all right, we've hit the point. Now it's time to just go at this, and we're going to adjust and keep improving and keep improving. And that's I think a huge blocker for most people who are starting things or content creators, especially from, like I said earlier on, in an artistic place. Waiting can be good if you really are developing a skill, and you put a lot of time into, say, a painting, and it takes you a lot longer to do a painting or a mural, and you're building this thing up over time. Then it's kind of important to maybe wait to do the final big release of whatever that is.
I have a really good example of this. Some of the people in the audience, they're from the live streaming community and stuff, and they're gonna know what the reference that I'm gonna give. A fellow live streamer, friend of ours by the name of Marshall Fox, he posed a really interesting question probably about a month ago, quality versus quantity on the content production side. So, and he's really, really about quality, which I believe speaks to what kind of you're talking about, waiting until you get that piece just kind of dialed in and then releasing it. So he's done that with a few of his videos where they're just like really, really high quality pieces of content, and they have knocked it out of the park. I mean, he has just killed it because he's really kind of dialed in, honed in, especially on the video side. So again, you can
Yeah.
be a lot more loosey goosey, freewheeling on the written side because you can edit it fast. The video content side's
Right.
not as easy to do that. And in watching that has been really, really valuable and stuff. Now, on this side of things, we've put out live streams and pre-recorded content identical. Is it double work? Absolutely, it's double work. But is there value in doing it? 150%, because we're engaging our audience. We're allowing them to ask questions live. We're walking them through things. They're having that community aspect of it as well. And then, for the person who wasn't live on the live streams to come in and have to watch an hour and a half video, as opposed to, what did we chop that build an e-commerce website down to? 7.5 minutes, Josh, basically?
Yep.
I think we took an hour and a half live stream of building an e-commerce website, and we chopped it down to 7.5 minutes. Well, when somebody comes and they're searching, I need to build a website, I want to use a page builder, Divi, child theme, boom, boom, boom. Here's a 7.5 minute video versus a hour and a 45-minute video. It's going to be a lot more palatable. Right. So even though you're doing double work and stuff and kind of the same content, I do feel like there's value in doing these types of things. I know you want to say something.
And you're revising it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're revising it specifically for a specific use case. So I think that's kind of the nuance maybe that I would add to that is there's some chatter going on in the comments about this where it's, should I use the transcript of a video? Yeah, use the transcript, but rewrite it for a blog.
Right.
Absolutely. Like just adjust it so that it fits the platform and you're not just dropping things in. That said, if you don't have time, the money, the people, it may be better to just throw the transcript up there until somebody can come in and clean that up, or you have the time to clean it up. Right. So here, that's kind of the nuance there.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think Kevin is, he makes this point. YouTube and blog, they complement, but ultimately have different types of consumers, and that's 100% true.
Yeah.
The people on YouTube and the people on Google are typically two types. I'm a video consumer. That's how I learn. I want to watch something. I want to connect with someone as opposed to reading and stuff. And I know I've got really good friends who are readers. They would rather read how to do something than, Doc is a voracious reader. He reads the manuals, the user guides, and everything on all the stuff. Not me.
Yeah.
I'm watching a video. Let's catch up with some comments here. John says, seems it would be easier to create the video first. Subscribe. I've got it. There we go. Transcribe the content, then edit it into a blog post. Yeah. Well, here's what I want to tell you, kind of what he was saying as well. It didn't work that great for us. We did it for WP the podcast, to where we just took the transcribe, totally threw it in a blog post, and even transcribed and did everything for YouTube so they could read it on YouTube. And at the end of the day, just doing that wasn't enough. It wasn't. Google's smart enough, like I said, they're going to know whether or not it's valuable content. So Keely says she's working on repurposing smart segments from live streams as useful chunks for other social media. You can also use the transcript for SEO and posting the video replays. And that's a great idea. And that's one of the things that I love about content is that you can tailor it, one piece of content, chop it up, disseminate it to all of the different platforms out there, including socials and stuff. And look, this is hold on a second here. This is of work. I mean, a metric of work. It's a lot of work to have to do all this stuff. So Rob is in the house. I want to say welcome, Rob. If If y'all ain't checked out his Disney blog, check out Disney blog. I think that's Rob's URL, disneyblog.com. Come on. Is that like he owns that domain? And Rob is doing some super exciting stuff if you're a Disney fan like this guy is. I'm a Disney fan. So go check his channel out, YouTube. He started producing content over there. Kevin says, I believe the messages and takeaways can be the same, but different people consume blogs than watch YouTube. Absolutely, 100%. Let's see here. Everybody's saying, hey, Rob. And Aubrey is just, reaffirming what we know. Content's king, consistency is queen. Or is it vice versa, Josh? Is content is queen and consistency is king? I'm down. I'm okay with it being either way. I mean,
I'm just always that it's two tracks, the same train got to run on it.
Yeah.
So don't leave one out without the other. So whatever orientation you want to make that. I'm just all about going like, let's get the content and the consistency are important. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Sammy's in the house. Welcome, Sammy. Glad you made it. He says, hey, Josh. Kevin says he's struggling with this very thing right now, making sure he has the video edited just right. Like, just put it out there and make another video that is 1% better than the last. Yeah. Look, by producing content, and Doc talks about this all the time, and we talk about it on Let's Get Live, is, iron sharpens iron. You get into these things where these modes where you're just producing a lot of content, you're going to get better. You're going to get better. So if you're kind of dragging your feet, waiting for your ducks in a row, it's just, just put it out there. Keep putting it out there because you're going to get better and it's going to improve and stuff. Yeah. Wow. I didn't think about it like this.
Let's talk about.
Hold on.
Let's talk about real quick. Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Before you dive into that, hold your thought. Double the work, but also reaching a different end user. 100%, Kevin. That's what we're discovering on our little YouTube journey over here is that, we're getting views and attracting a totally different audience and stuff. You got your super fans that are going to be there to support you, but then you got your people that they just want to consume, get the answer to their question, move on to the next video and stuff. And look at this,
right,
man, James. That is one bad profile pic, bro. My James Riley's in the house. Welcome. I'm glad you're here, brother. Josh, I hope I didn't make you lose that train of thought. Go. What are we talking about now?
No, I gotta go. I gotta run. Go get a bow tie on so I can sit like this the rest of the time.
Dude, he looks pretty dope, right?
Yeah, he's looking fly. James, brother James. Yeah, I would just wanted to see if you had any thoughts on ways and tips for getting people to production faster. Like, for myself, I know there's a piece of this that it's a lot of groundwork, and I don't want to minimize that, right? And so I think that's a really important piece to note is like we can make it sound like, hey, just, get it out there, get it out there, get it out there. And for real, I believe that's what needs to take place for a lot of people. There's that mental blocker, like what Kevin was talking about. We're trying to get it right, and we just don't ever get it out there. Making those 1% improvements is a powerful way to think about it and a very helpful suggestion. And don't underestimate like setting a time limit, a time frame for yourself to go like, hey, before I do this, I'm going to do a bunch of research and we're going to spend a month or two building up. But at that 2-month mark is my personal deadline, and we're going to get this out there. We're going to start producing. We're going to start producing content, and I'm not going to let the fact that it's not as perfect as I wanted it to be to block me from starting to publish, whether that's my website, my blog content, my video content, whatever that is. And if that means rolling back like we did even on this channel to videos that were sitting there for a long time and making them private, delete, 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 get it out
Yeah.
of there later.
Yeah.
It's nothing. It's not permanent.
Yeah.
Now, the internet is permanent in some regards, but in other regards, once you delete that thing, unless you got some hater out there who's going to take your content and like, oh, look what this guy did later, down the road. But the chances of that are a lot smaller unless you
Yeah.
already have some notoriety,
Yeah. Again, just go, do your stuff, produce, modify, edit, delete if needed. We have deleted some things. And look, I have made some super boneheaded errors on my YouTube channel that I don't like love the fact that like last week's live stream, I think it was last week, maybe last Monday, a week ago today, where, replace image live stream. That might have been the week before. And I'm rolling. I'm in my groove. I'm going to town, and I forgot the most important thing, to install the plugin, and it's not working, and I'm crashing and burning, and people are live and they're watching, and this was one of those that had 50 people watching it, so
right.
If you can learn anything from this guy, and what I'm going to say is, don't sweat it. Don't worry about it. Don't let that stuff bother you, stop you, because guess what? Edit, chop, delete, remove if need be and stuff. And I don't, unless it's like really not valuable for the end user, I'm not a proponent of deleting content because you kind of messed up or you're embarrassed or something, get over it. You ain't that important. People mess up all the time, and it's, it's not that big of a deal. It's just not that big of a deal. So,
Or we do our reshoots sometimes as well for the shorter ones, which then you can be a little bit more concise without the distraction of the comment section and that going on as well.
Yeah,
John. So there's other ways around that as well.
This is a really good point. Batch, right. Schedule the posts. Absolutely. If you can do that, Josh, you asked me a question. I don't even think I answered it yet. We were kind of talking and we went down a different rabbit hole. What are some of the things that people can do to get to market faster, get their content out there quicker and stuff? I think the first thing is, having a plan, making a plan, being willing to pivot, when you need to make a turn, an opportunity presents itself. We kind of have this down here in our notes and stuff, but I do think it's really, really applicable. Make a plan and then just start doing it. Don't get hung up on all the other stuff. Now, if you have the resources to get some help, that's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, huge. I realize that a lot of the content creators on YouTube, they write all of their content, record all of their content, edit all of their content, share all of their content, disseminate it to all the many different platforms and stuff. It takes a lot of time to do that and a lot of work. If you can get to a place where you can bring in some support, you're going to get a lot quicker. And, my number one advice would be to let go. If you're anything like me,
That's good.
You're a perfectionist and you want things done a certain way. So unfortunately, what happens with people is they hang on to it too long, and when they should let it go and allow other people to use their genius of what they're really good at and stuff and get some support and help. Josh is one of those people. I'm telling you, with me, it's like, Josh and Łukasz, or Lucas, as we say here in the U.S., Łukasz in Poland, where he's from, phenomenal video editor, multi-talented, super helpful, and he's a part of our production crew as well. So get some help. I'm just going to put that out there. Hope I answered your question, Josh.
And here's a little If you had a little button to push for music, here comes Josh's story from when he was in construction work, way back, right after getting married. I was working in the guys that had been in the industry for a long time would always say, measure twice and cut once.
Yeah.
And when you talk about planning, that planning phase is a lot more important than just running at stuff. Do your research, plan, get your stuff in place, but don't get caught up planning too far out, especially with products, because you might think you've got an idea that you're running at this product and you're like, I'm going to add this feature, this feature, this feature. Get to your minimum viable product as fast as you can. And the same with your blog posts and other content that you create, especially if it's from a marketing perspective. Get that minimum thing up there and out, because there's some huge potential from hearing feedback from real world users.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
And that's how we've grown the company, Divi Space, Aspen Grove Studios, to the point that it's at. And now we're hitting a spot where we've run with tons of great feedback, tons of support, tons of perspective from people who are using the products. And it's changed the angle and the place and the approach that we take over and over again, to the point where now we're looking at like some of our earlier plugins, like the footer one that is now integrated in with Divi by default. And we can go, that was a great experience. We learned a lot, but if that was our only product, we'd be screwed right now. If that was the only thing we had ever done, right?
Yeah.
And so now that led to Switch and Ghoster and child themes and all kinds of other stuff that are our best-selling products, the stuff that we're working on, our hosting, these different reporting tools for WooCommerce. All of this stuff is because of feedback and because of pivoting and because of changing and not getting married to a single idea in our mind and then being able to shift. So get to production, figure out, spend time planning out, like, what is the most important piece of this? And then last inside of that I think goes a long way with getting to production faster is just spending time after you've planned it, produce that thing, get it up there, and then you'll make your changes later on as you go along, So
okay. Here's a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
You use the old adage of measure twice, cut once. I was back in construction in my younger college days as well. I wonder if
we need a violin to come in when we're doing this.
I wonder if your construction crew was anything like my construction crew when I measured once and I needed to cut twice because I made it too short. Did they send you out to get the board stretcher? I'm just curious. My contractor sent this green newbie on a mission. He's like, dang it, I cut that thing wrong. David, head over there to my truck and get the board stretcher, bro. And I'm like, I'm throwing things out of that truck, and I'm like, where the hell's this board stretcher? So
where's the board stretcher at, David? Come on, go find it, buddy.
That and the sky hook.
Yeah.
Those were the two. Hey, David, go get the sky hook and clean out those gutters up there. It's like, yeah, right. If you're young and you're in construction and you're new, don't fall for the board stretcher or the sky hook.
Yeah.
They're both fictitious things. Yeah.
Don't ever.
All right. Let's go over a couple of more things before we dive off of this live stream. I do want to give kind of some updates of what's going on, company, and all the exciting new things. So obviously we are a Divi, we create Divi products for the Divi theme, #1 WordPress theme in the world. We've got third-party products for that platform. And we've always had them on both websites, divi.space and aspengrovestudios.com. And the reason is because aspengrovestudios.com was the original third-party product creator for Divi. And what happened was is we acquired Space a few years after that, and Space was one of the top three, Divi companies, product producers in the world. And it just so happened that the ability to acquire that business came to pass, which we did. I bought the company, we transitioned it, so now we're finally at a place where the last few years we've been mostly producing WordPress and e-commerce content on AspenGroveStudios.com, and have slowly been transitioning all of our content on Divi.space to be all of our Divi content. Well, drum roll, please. We are now in a place where, as of today, the countdown is on. 30 days from now, Divi Space and Aspen Grove Studios will no longer carry the same products. If you want our Divi products, you're going to need to go over to Divi.space. If you want our WordPress and e-commerce products, you're going to go over to AspenGroveStudios.com. How is this beneficial? We've got lifetime memberships and annual memberships that allowed people to, basically buy into our company on Divi Space or Aspen Grove Studios, and they would get the products on both sites because we carried the same identical products on both sites. That's no longer going to be. Divi Space is going to have Divi. Aspen Grove Studios is going to have WordPress and e-commerce. And we've got some really great WordPress, WooCommerce plugins, some of the top ones in the world, reporting plugins for WooCommerce. And we're expanding that suite of products over there as well. Well, you've got 30 days to grandfather yourself in to get everything on both websites if you choose to. If you're watching this live stream, head on over there and check that out. The first week, we're giving our biggest discount of this 30-day period. We're giving 15% off of our lifetime and I think annual membership as well. And then next week, it'll be 10%.
Yeah.
And then after 2 weeks, it's going to 0%. And if you want to get in, you got to get in. So now's the best time to do it. And that's kind of exciting news for us. We've developed a product, a helper plugin that's unified all of the accounts from both sites. Before you used to have to have a login on each site.
Right.
No more. Your one universal login is going to get you access to both websites. You're going to get to see the suite of the products. And guess what? You're going to be able to install them right there in the WordPress without having to go download them, save them to your computer, your drive. The helper plugin is dope. It's really, really bad product. I'm going to tell you, it's a bad product. It's good.
It's really good. I'm going to tell you guys, this has been a long time in the making for Divi Space AGS. There's been acquisitions, time where it was just like we were saying, get it out there, publish, we'll clean this up later. And now we're getting to roll back and start looking at what's it look like to clean this up and make it the most usable, the most user-friendly experience across the board to help people out. And so you might ask, well, doesn't that feel like a ton of double work for you guys and all of this? But really it was about pivoting and opportunities presenting themselves, taking the opportunities as they came. And now this is just another giant leap forward and an opportunity for us to kind of launch into something new and exciting and really take these down focused points, because we get a lot of confusion around the way our brand currently is set up. You go on there and you're like, well, what products go here? And I can't remember where
and then
I
the bill
this
comes,
what I did with this. And
and then the bill comes the next year. And, Aspen Grove Studios is actually technically the parent company of Divi Space. It owns it.
Right.
So when someone purchased something on Divi Space, they would, the next year, because it's an annual licensing agreement, the next year when they would go to renew, it was coming from Aspen Grove Studios and not Divi Space. Right. So there was some confusion. We've needed to clean this up for a long time, and we're finally in that situation.
As soon as we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as we do clean this up, it offers some I mean, the experience is going to be so much smoother for people, and it eliminates support tickets. It's going to start lowering costs all around the board
Right.
for us and the end user. You're
Right.
not questioning where you're at, what you need, and this stuff. But then also, you're not going to have to send in a support request going, "Why did this? What is this Aspen Grove Studios company?" And then we have to explain, "Oh, well,
Yeah.
we got this." So support tickets will be faster. It's just the
Yeah.
nature of this process. So we get an opportunity to go back and do that. I'm super excited about it. If you can't tell, I'm cutting David off and jumping in on
No.
stealing
Absolutely.
the street.
Well, look, we're about the end of the stream, anyways. I think
Yeah.
hopefully we've provided some value. We've given you some insight on content creation, pivoting, evergreen content, blog cleanup,
Right.
yeah. So this is, yep. Scott, you good, bro? Scott's a lifetime member, and you are good. You got awesome stuff coming, bro. You're gonna be like, oh wow, it just got better. And Josh and I have the benefit of knowing what's coming down the pipeline too. I don't like doing sales pitches and stuff. I want to keep people up to date on what's going on in the company, but I am not all about sitting here pitching our wares and stuff. I want you to come to our channel and feel like, you know what? They're teaching us something always and stuff, and that's my goal. But Josh and I we know what's coming down the pike, especially on Aspen Grove Studios. If you are an e-commerce website or have clients with e-commerce websites, what we're building over there is next level reporting, stuff that is going to be game changing for WooCommerce. So
Yeah.
don't go into it, Josh. We're good.
You're telling all our secrets. Yeah, you're telling all our secrets early, brother. Come on.
James says we give him a few ideas. Good. James, it is good to see you, my friend. We need to connect. I feel like I need a men's night in the Let's Get Live group live stream like we used to do, at the beginning of the year. I feel like I'm missing you and Drew and Fulgens and some of the, the people that we used to roll in the live streams and stuff. I know everybody's busy and they're doing their thing, and but occasionally it's fun to go in and just kind of connect with people and stuff. So you are very welcome, John. I appreciate it. Kevin, thank you. And you know what, Josh, I think I'm going to go ahead and start the music just because.
Yeah, get it going.
The outro music as we cover these final comments and stuff. Scott says he loves it. Lifetime member. Kevin, I'm glad we could help you, my friend. Absolutely, my friend. Let's chop it up, James. Thank you, Keely. Hey, Ryan. I'm glad you are too, my friend. Hope everybody has a great week. An awesome week. Josh and I see y'all Thursday. Peace out, everybody.
That is what my heart says. That's what my heart says. I wanna be with